before I first attended my initial workshop, I do feel like I probably wouldn't have looked it up myself. It was the peer support worker I was seeing at the time that kind of recommended it. And I just think the mindset I was in at the time, really, like I was just a bit desperate for help, so anything that anybody could recommend at the time, I was going to take. And I think that's kind of what spurred me on, really. Like, I was really unsure of what to do with myself, what kind of help to get, but I knew by attending this workshop that was recommended, I was at least trying to do something about it, which is just the motivation I had at the time, really. I think when I went to my first workshop, my main concern at the time was through like people or just friends at the time I'd spoke to, I hadn't really found anyone that had similar reasons to me for being depressed or anxious. So I suppose before I walked through that door, I was a bit questioning myself, like my reasons for being depressed and anxious, how like legitimate or serious were they? A significant part of that though was when they started going through just the reasons for feeling low, and I began to realise that I do have legitimate reasons to be like sad, depressed. You know, I began to realise that I wasn't alone in this world. Even more significantly, I really didn't know how to help myself at the time as well. When I first attended, the overall atmosphere, like a big thing, what kind of helped me, like just relax and a bit more into it, was just seeing other people kind of look how I felt, just a bit unsure of themselves, a bit quiet, a bit out of the way, because I knew going into it I wasn't going to be able to say much at the time, but just seeing someone else, like just looking how you felt, really does give you that little bit more, just that settling feeling, that little bit of calmness. I've learned that some things might be helpful to you, some things might not so much. Like, it's about what's finding right for you. A major thing for me, what I've learned is I'm a big fan of small steps or baby steps, or like just gradually exposing yourself to the things that makes you anxious, no matter how slow you go, really. Each step is a step at a time. A big thing that's helped me, which was actually a technique that was used in CBT actually, is when you have these obviously thoughts running in your head, or like your inner critic, negative thoughts, however way you want to put it, a big thing to help is to just find the evidence to just disprove these thoughts. And I still do it to this very day, like, but I always try and look back on the things that I've overcome in the past year. For example, I don't know, my driving maybe, like just how I didn't want to, you know, drive to work, and how I've managed to just gradually expose myself to that, and how I'm even sitting here now in front of a camera as well. You know, I'll look back on this maybe the next day or so and just think, that's my motivation, that's what's going to put me on to hopefully better things.